What's up, wrestling fans? You are on WrestlingRumors.net, which means you're watching Wrestling Warm-Up right here on this fabulous Easter Monday night. I'm joined by Mr. Chris Walter hanging out with us tonight. What's going on? Wrestling Warm-Up every Monday, some Mondays, whatever. But we're hanging out. We're having some fun. Chris is hanging out with us for the first time on a Monday in a while, man. What's going on?
Yeah, no Raptors game tonight. Just celebrating Easter Monday, chillaxing at Casa de la Walder. Good times, man. I'm ready to talk some wrestling, ready to hype up my boy Neville, but we'll get to that soon.
That's what I like to hear. Neville's going to be... we saw Neville's debut on Raw, obviously the Raw after WrestleMania last week. It was pretty cool, I have to say. I mean, he showed out and did his thing. I'm not a big fan of the cloak, whatever. That's aesthetic stuff. It doesn't change that the guy is awesome in the ring. And the guy has a big opportunity to shine on the main roster. And so I'm hoping that happens. I'm hoping that we can get that going, get Neville in there and Neville looking good, and Neville doing his thing to work his way up, hopefully into the Intercontinental title picture in the next 2 to 3 months, because if you add him to Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan and those guys there, that's going to be absolutely insane. You're going to see some of the best matchups ever.
And this is a guy that you could pretty much pencil in now for Money in the Bank. Like, you'd be crazy not to throw him in that ladder match just to see some of the crazy acrobatics that he can pull off. I knew right away that you were going to be like burying that cloak. I mean, we were freaking out that they were going to turn him into a Mighty Mouse kind of thing. It doesn't look like he's going to go the superhero route. I think the cape is just part of the entrance, but it wasn't as bad as people were making it out to be. I think what he did with Curtis Axel last week was so incredible, and I can't wait to see what he does this week. Maybe on the off chance, he answers one of John Cena's open challenges for the U.S. title. I'd love to see those two lock horns.
Yeah, but I mean, and I understand. I get the whole thing. He already looks so much like an elf or a hobbit, and then they're going to put a hooded cloak on him. I mean, the purple helps it not look so blatantly obvious that they're going with a Legolas elfish type thing here.
Legolas.
But the purple helps. But it's still definitely Vince McMahon, trying to come up with something for this little guy that has a funny voice, and so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, it'd be cool to see John Cena give Neville a rub tonight, and then maybe Rusev comes out and attacks both of them. We do know that Rusev is supposed to interact with Cena some way, shape, or form tonight. They've been one of the 2 confirmed matches for Extreme Rules, which is free this month for new subscribers. That gimmick has been working for them every single time they've done it. They get 500 to, I think it's 250 to 500,000 new subscribers every single time they do it, and it's a 65 to 70% return rate. Like of those new subscribers that get the free month every time, 55 to 60% are actually keeping the subscription and paying for it afterwards. So why wouldn't they keep doing this kind of stuff, man? It would be dumb if they didn't. It's not going to kill the network. It's not going to kill the pay-per-views. It's just it helps them get new eyes on the network. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, this is coming right after the colossal success that was WrestleMania 31. So if you want to keep people invested in the WWE Network, why not offer it for free to new subscribers? I mean, Extreme Rules isn't one of the top pay-per-views WWE throws on, but again, it comes right after WrestleMania. A lot of feuds are going to be continuing from that show. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those. It used to be a B2C level pay-per-view. It's not going to bring us a lot of Well, sometimes it does. Sometimes it brings us some good matches, but it's not it's not a Survivor Series. It's not a SummerSlam. Even though they did give Survivor Series away for free.
Yep.
In November of 2014, and it got a lot of new subscriptions. So
you mean it didn't kill the network?
No, it's very funny to me that it's working. It actually works. So it doesn't surprise me they're doing it. I don't hate it. I actually think it's smart business on their part. Give it away for free. They didn't give WrestleMania away for free, so I don't think that they're hurting themselves when it comes to giving away Extreme Rules. But like I said, there's 2 confirmed matches for Extreme Rules. That's the U.S. title rematch between Rusev and John Cena. John Cena being the champion going in this time, which we predicted, and we said it would have to be Rusev versus John Cena. But we know that John Cena is getting a new U.S. title made which makes me believe he's not going to drop this title just back to Rusev at Extreme Rules, which we all thought would happen. If he won it at WrestleMania, you know, even though the report said they want to use John Cena and Daniel Bryan to bring up the prestige on both titles and make them more relevant on the card, we know that John Cena is getting a new U.S. title. I would probably say it's not going to be a spinner title like the old one, but it's going to be a new U.S. title. And I was thinking maybe they start using the same kind of the side panels like the WWE the title to get more marketing for kids and the toys and the replicas and all that kind of stuff. It's making them money left and right for replicas and toys right now for the WWE Championship. Why not do it on the rest of your belts? Why don't you fully customize them for the champions? But with Cena getting his own belt, I don't see him dropping it to Rusev at Extreme Rules.
And you take into account the new T-shirt that he has, the Champions here with the United States Championship belt underneath it. I think the way you get around this, because obviously you don't want to kill Rusev too much. I think that's one of the fears you always have when you have one of these youngsters going up against the Superman himself, John Cena. So I would expect a stipulation to be added to this, probably last man standing. That way Rusev doesn't have to be pinned and he doesn't have to tap out.
Yeah, and we're getting questions on Twitter. I can't get in the chat room right now, guys, so if you're in the chat, thank you for being in the chat. I just can't see you right now. Having issues with Flash, but I do see Twitter. So if you want to ask something, hop on Twitter. We'll talk about it. One of the things in the 5-point preview, obviously fallout from last week, Brock Lesnar, who lost his WWE Championship at WrestleMania to Seth Rollins, which was phenomenal. He went nuts Monday night, which was absolutely amazing, and something that we needed to see. Keep him looking strong, make him as much of a badass face as possible. This is stuff that Stone Cold Steve Austin would have done, even as a face. How many times did we see him stun Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler and Commissioner Sergeant Slaughter and Vince McMahon? He was the biggest face in the company, being just a badass and wanted to do whatever he wanted to do. We saw that with Lesnar Monday night. He killed Michael Cole. And of course, you can get a rest in peace Michael Cole T-shirt at Wrestling Rumors. It's one of those things. Honestly, I can't wrap my mind around the fact that they went with this angle. And we're gonna talk about this because Ed Call on Twitter asked us this question, and I totally agree with what he's saying in the question. But Michael Cole, JBL, and Booker T are back on Raw this week after Cole was eviscerated by Brock Lesnar this past Monday night with a F5 that left him out of his shoes. And then that, you know what? If they just left it there, he got F5. Booker T got trapped under a table. They never really, you never really saw what happened to JBL. You just assumed he was under the table too. If they would have just left it there, I'm totally fine with them all three coming back this week. Totally fine with it. However, they made it out like Michael Cole literally died. I mean, they put him on a stretcher. They carried him out. They reported that he had possible cervical injuries and all this kind of stuff. They literally labeled the same injury that killed someone in the ring a week before this angle takes place. And if you don't know about Pedro Aguaya, his whole deal, rest in peace. We still offer our condolences to his family. And I mean, Rey Mysterio, who was in the ring, did not kill him. I'll use stupid marks that say Rey Mysterio is the one that killed him. That happened. His death happened from those injuries, and then WWE insensitively labels Michael Cole's injuries from an F5 the same thing that killed that guy. If it's that bad, and they're going to talk about, is Michael Cole going to sue the company, and he's injured. If he's not in some kind of iron lung calling matches tonight, if he's not, I mean seriously, if he doesn't have the screws, the neck brace with the screws in his head, he better not show up. If he's just sitting there in a suit and nothing's wrong, he just has a foam collar around his neck, I'm going to lose my effing mind. It makes zero sense. And if you're going to label that as his injuries and then just have him come out the next week and just acting like he's sore and, it's a dangerous work environment with Brock Lesnar around and blah, 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 then it's just it's dumb to me. Keep him off, have him do a via satellite thing, bring Jerry the King Lawler back out there and let him do his thing. don't bring Cole back the next week. It's insulting. If you're going to act like he's that hurt, don't bring him back on TV so quick. That's
I think
101.
Yeah, but I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they wouldn't have a decent replacement commentator, because let's look at the facts. Last week when Byron Saxton went out there by himself, and of course they had to bring Lawler out there because he was pooping the bed, Saxton was awful. He had no enthusiasm in his voice. And, I mean, I'm a Neville mark. I think he completely butchered the commentary for that match.
He was very monotone, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he was just selling the fact that there was just an attack, or he was nervous, or a combination of the two, but it was just unlistenable at times. So if you're going to have a head commentator out there, you can't do a three-man team of Booker T, JBL, and Jerry the King Lawler, because they're all color commentators. You need a play-by-play guy out there. And the only option is have Saxton do it again, but I think he's on Vince McMahon's bad side now after last week. You have Tom Phillips do it, but he seems to be buried, and for some reason he's doing social media stuff during the pay-per-views. And if you have Renee Young do it, you basically have to commit to being with her for the rest of the year, because people are going to be wanting Renee for the foreseeable future. And we've never had a female play-by-play commentator before. This would be history. So, regardless of the Cole injury angle, you have to throw him out there, but you have to make it believable. You have to, like you said, an iron lung or a cast, a full body cast, something of that nature, especially with the injuries that you described he had.
Well, you don't have to. Okay, it doesn't have to be Renee Young. I honestly would take Corey Graves. I enjoy listening to Corey Graves on NXT. This past week, the live NXT special, the taping was the first one was live. Corey Graves killed it. Absolutely killed it.
As the color commentator.
He did an excellent job. He was actually calling the match, though, too. He was calling moves in the match. He can do both because he's been in the ring. That's the other side of it.
That is true, yes.
He was very entertaining with some of the color he was thrown in, but at the same time, he was calling the match as well, and actually describing stuff that was going on in the ring. So, I don't know. It's whatever. Whoever they bring out, it would be better. But it's going to be Michael Cole, who... When's the last time Michael Cole's actually called a freaking match?
That's true. Hey, well, I would love to see Paul Heyman do it. I mean, with Brock Lesnar out of the picture, and if Heyman still has some use, that would be amazing.
My favorite color team's always been JR and
Heyman, yeah.
So Bad News Burke on Twitter asking, does Lesnar have any credibility if Cole comes right back, and how can commentators sell Brock as a face when they got trashed? They're gonna it's not gonna be that they're selling Brock as a face. They're gonna say it's an unsafe work environment because Brock Lesnar's unhinged. And they're just going to talk about the fact that Brock Lesnar's unstable and is this frickin' wrecking ball, which is the selling point to Brock frickin' Lesnar. It has been since he came back in 2012. And it's going to continue to be until he's done in 2018. He's the biggest, untamable, undefeatable giant of a man.
And let's be fair, JBL and Booker T had a table tossed on them. These guys are former world champions. I don't think that's going to take him out of commission. Byron's
on my bad side for not flipping that table back over.
Yeah, he just left it there.
They never flipped the table back over.
Come on, man. It still works.
That table gets destroyed on pay-per-view regularly.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 matches later, it's back up. Last Monday night, it just stayed flipped over. Makes zero sense. As if they were trying to say, hey, we know 2 guys just died under here. Let's honor it tonight and just...
In the third hour, they're like, hey, you know why the table's like this? Let's go back and watch again.
Let's watch it for the 3rd time. Brock Lesnar takes out Michael Cole. And Booker T's smiling because I don't know what he was laughing at, but he was laughing at something.
Sugar ducky.
They get close up to Booker T, and he's over there laying down like he's knocked down.
He was pulling a Lana and smiling behind the table. It was pretty funny.
I went back and watched WrestleMania again. I don't think Lana was smiling.
Sure looked like it.
Lana was her fake cry was so bad it looked like she was laughing.
But let's give her a movie role anyway.
Please, as long as you show her boobs, that's all anybody's gonna care. That's all they're gonna care about.
For WWE Studios, who's stepping
up
the
nudity game? It's an R-rated movie, bro.
Hello. Now we're talking. I'll
She's got plenty of boobies everywhere else. Why wouldn't you just show her boobs in the movie?
She's done it before.
That's what I'm saying. She's done it before. Someone else that shows his transparent boobs every single week and beats on them. Sheamus, who has a new theme song that you're a big fan of, right?
Yeah, man, I dig it. I mean, he's a heel now. That face, what was it called again? I'm totally blanking out on it because I hate it so much.
Face.
Yeah, written on my face. Yeah, screw that one. This is.
It's a shameful thing.
Yeah. But this music was the music they were using in his promos, correct? The
Yeah.
packages
Yep.
leading up to it. Yeah, I totally dig it. He's really going with this whole Celtic Warrior thing with the mohawk and the braided beard. I dig it, man. I'm not a full Sheamus fan yet, but the music is helping.
I'll say I've always liked Sheamus. I think this is going to help big time. Bring him back to the forefront. Going to be a good big time a hand in the IC title range. I mean, we've already saw him come in. He destroyed Daniel Bryan on SmackDown. Yeah. That shot was ridiculous. And I don't know if it was from that or Bad News Barrett, but either way, Daniel Bryan has a line of staples going from here to here, and it's nasty. He got busted legit. For people that keep saying wrestling's fake, he got busted open pretty legitimately. And it just goes to show when you have that kind of action going on a SmackDown for an IC title, it's making the IC title more relevant instantly. And we said this would happen with your Dolph Zigglers, with your Daniel Bryans, with your Dean Ambroses, with your Sheamuses, with your Bad News Barretts, who you can say what you want to say about his win-loss record, wins and losses, whatever. It's wrestling. It's scripted.
It's not real, guys.
It's scripted. It's definitely real when you're getting knocked in that forehead by either a boot or an elbow and you're bleeding profusely. It's it's not like it was a blade job. There's real aspects to this, but it's scripted. Wins and losses, it's whatever. It's just whoever the company feels can do the best in this area of the card. And right now, you got a lot of main event caliber guys with your IC title. You have two main event caliber guys with their United States Heavyweight Championship. Like this is what they needed to do. And I'm liking that we're getting it. I love the fact that you had Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan team up both times. You had your obvious heel now, especially after the promo he cut, which was a fabulous promo. He delivered it very well. On SmackDown, Sheamus delivered a very compelling, I'm going to just destroy all of your little fanboy idols, like you, Daniel Bryan, Dolph Ziggler, everybody, the fans, all your little underdogs, I'm taking them out.
Yeah.
But the way he delivered it was phenomenal, and what he said had to have been written by Vince McMahon. If you listen to it, you know that it was written by Vince McMahon. Don't worry, if you didn't get to see SmackDown, you didn't hear it. I would probably place a fist $20 bill on the table right now and say that we see that promo
at least 2 or 3 times, yeah.
At least one. No, just once before Sheamus' match. We're going to see the promo that he cut on them. Whether it's him giving that promo in a new way tonight or if they just show that promo again. We're going to get that promo again. It was that good. And he delivered it well. I'm digging it. You know, the "you look stupid" chants, that's good heel heat stuff. Like, that's awesome. That's going to keep happening. A lot of stuff that post-Mania crowds create, it sticks around for a little while at least until something else happens.
Sucks.
John Cena sucks. Last year has been carrying around and being really nice. Fandangoing from 2 years ago, that went on for a little while. Then they had to change Fandango's music because of it.
Yep.
They wanted him to be a heel. So, and now he's only seen on Superstars, which is not good.
Enrique Iglesias.
You do know some of these people, there's going to be a cut coming very soon.
Yeah.
And so I hope, usually around the end of May, early June, we get a cut. And I would say if Johnny Curtis doesn't do something soon, it's going to be Johnny Curtis who's going to be one of the guys that's cut.
Well, especially if they keep bringing up these NXT guys. I mean, we saw we had Kalisto and Neville come that last week, and it looks like by the summer, Charlotte and maybe even Finn Balor might make the roster. So there's only so many spots on the roster, guys. You got to get rid of some people.
I would say, Cameron cut.
Oh, she's gone.
The
Total Divas thing kind of pretty sealed her fate. If she's not on that anymore, she has no value.
Rosa Mendez. I don't care if Rosa Mendez is on. If Fandango's gone, she's gone.
She's on Total Divas, though, right?
Yeah, but guess what? There's going to be some divas that are going to come up from the NXT roster and get shoved into that show, Charlotte probably being one of them. To me, I think Charlotte's there before SummerSlam. I think Charlotte's there in May.
Yeah, if they're throwing Naomi in the title picture right now, they're kind of just grasping at straws. So they need someone like legitimate. With all due respect to Naomi, I love Naomi. Yeah,
no, the girl can wrestle, and I said it on Wrestle Reaction with Frank Manzo this past Monday night after Raw. Naomi's so much better than she was before. She's gotten so much better in the ring, outside of the ring, like with her promos and stuff. The girl's gotten better over the last 7 to 8 months. When she looked good around WrestleMania time last year, around WrestleMania 30 time when we thought she was going to get that shot. And it was, they decided to bring up Paige and let Paige take the title off of AJ instead. And that worked out for Paige, fine, but holy crap.
But Naomi's not the one taking the title off Nikki.
No. It's going to come full circle to Paige and Nikki.
Yeah.
Especially with AJ gone.
Which we should touch on now, I guess. AJ's sudden departure.
So, I don't want to hear this stuff like she's pregnant.
She's not.
She
might be. I don't
pregnant.
know.
She would not be taking bumps last Monday night.
Yeah.
Let's be real. So maybe she wants to go have kids. That's cool, but she doesn't have to do another daggum thing ever. She accomplished a lot in 5 years. 3-time Divas champion, longest reigning Divas champion. To whatever her heat is backstage, which I'm sure stems from her husband. She and CM Punk have to do, if they wanted to do nothing for the rest of their life, they could. But you know what? She gets to go be whatever she wants to do. She's got a dog rescue thing she's working with. She has her own website, ajbrooks.com. She's got a lot of stuff going on. I'm sure she'll do whatever the hell she wants. Either whether it's getting in the ring in the UFC in the women's division, which I doubt would happen.
No, it's not.
No, that's what I'm saying. I doubt it. I'm just saying she has options. She can do whatever the heck she wants.
And take away all of the CM Punk stuff, because a lot of people are saying, like husband, like wife, like she's just
right. Yeah.
Like what the hell? That makes absolutely no sense.
I agree.
First of all, we were calling this for a long time because AJ Lee has pretty much accomplished literally everything you can do in that division, plus being the general manager of Raw, plus working with some of the top guys in the company. Why on earth would she need to stick around? If she has outside projects that she can make some serious money off of, she's only 28 years old. I say go do that, and I think the door to always return to WWE will be there. She has a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah, but it's not even about money. She doesn't have to work ever again if she doesn't.
Ever. Yeah, but she has the option, is what I'm saying. If she decides to get back in the ring.
Correct, and it's not a money thing for her. There's a stressful situation involving my husband in this company. I'm sure it's been super awkward since June, when they got married and all the stuff happened with CM Punk and the firing and the quiet awkwardness probably between July and Thanksgiving. And then when Thanksgiving happened, she was only on for another month and then she was gone. She worked till TLC, then she was gone for a few months, and then she came back to work WrestleMania, and then she's gone again. And now she's gone for good. We figured she'd be gone very shortly.
And she knew on Monday Night Raw that she was done because she wore that Bayley shirt.
She came out in a Bayley shirt.
Yeah, exactly. That was a nice little rub for the NXT girl, so I dig it.
Well, she loves her.
But she knew she was gone, yeah.
Listen to her speech at, the Slammies, which were in Greenville. I was there. I listened to it live. She was very adamant about the fact that she wants the NXT divas that are going to come up to be the future. And she specifically named off Bayley and Charlotte. So, Charlotte's got the rub from Vince now. That's all you need. Charlotte's made.
Yeah.
Unless she has something serious. Until he finds out she's married to a TNA superstar, then it's on.
Yeah. Wait, is she?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who's she married to?
Bram.
Charlotte?
Yeah, dude.
Wow, why am I learning this now?
I don't know.
Really?
Education. I'm just educating.
I am learning from the sensei here, the head samurai.
Yeah, that's how we do.
But man, that NXT women's division is stacked with. I mean, we're not even talking about Sasha Banks, and there's this new girl Dana Brooke who has this Beth Phoenix look to her, and Becky Lynch. You guys are being won over by her by the day. Yeah, she's looks nice.
That Irish accent's all sexy too.
And with the exception of Paige, I would replace every diva on the current roster with what's down in NXT in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I still think Bayley's gimmick, and this is why Emma's back down there. Emma's back down there to change her gimmick, get hard, and be a heel that's not the stupid gimmick that she was. The Bayley thing's not going to work on the main roster.
I think I completely disagree. I think people are, especially the wee ones, are going to eat that up. It's not a stupid. She's not doing a stupid dance. She's just kind of like that lovable girl next door gimmick where you can't help but root for her.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Is it the wacky inflatable arm 2-man guy thing?
I mean, that's part of it. That's part of it. It's dumb. That's part of it.
Do you think it'll help that? You think it'll help her with kind of like the hardcore fans, the IWCers who know that she kind of worked her way up from independent wrestling? She's not some
Maybe.
sort of a model.
Maybe, but the girl's a freaking awesome wrestler, and I hate the fact that
She's
she got
damn
stuck
good.
with this stupid gimmick.
Telling you, if you haven't watched it, go back at that Takeover event, that Fatal 4-Way with her, Banks, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch. That's one of the best Divas matches you'll ever see, ever.
Yeah, that match is amazing.
Yeah.
And I'll throw. This is what made me a Charlotte fan through and through, and she's my girl. You know, she's not the best looking thing. The girl can go. Her and Nataya's match.
Yeah.
Luminosity.
People were like, "That's match of the year." Like in general.
Second Takeover special was.
Yeah.
The first Takeover special was when that one was on there.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely amazing, because Arrival was before that.
Right.
Charlotte is absolutely incredible, and I can't wait till she's on the main roster. She's gonna do a banger. She's gonna do a banger job, and it's gonna be.
If you want to summarize NXT in one line, go back and watch the tag team match, the 8-man tag team match from Raw last week when Booker T says, "Bring everybody from NXT up right now."
He literally said that. I love the fact that he said that, because Kalisto showed out. Okay, we've known this kid's awesome, and he's special.
Samurai del Sol.
He showed out, man. I've been covering his career for the last 4 years, and I absolutely love that kid. And he showed out big time. And of course, he does it with Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, right?
Yeah.
Who are my favorite tag team currently? I said it once they started, and I learned that they were trying to create new tag team moves, and they're working on their tag division stuff at the Performance Center. Like, they care so much that they're going down there and training together to be better in the ring together, and they're already two of the best wrestlers in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know it's going to be something special, and I've loved every single thing they've done since.
God, that's going to be a hell of a match. It's probably at Extreme Rules. We'll get the Lucha Dragons versus those two.
I would assume.
Yeah.
Usos aren't ready to go.
Yeah, they're hurt. New Day, no one wants. They'll probably do a primetime players deal, maybe on the pre-show.
You know, black versus black, because Vince is
all into that.
Such a fan. Yeah. The only other thing I think we haven't talked about, and yeah, we'll probably end a little bit earlier, everybody. But the only thing we haven't talked about is Seth Rollins. And he's now, the other match that's been confirmed for Extreme Rules so far is Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton. Randy Orton's getting his rematch for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship a year and a month after he lost it. Finally. So Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton is set for Extreme Rules, and that should, think about the match we're going to get there. The one that we got at WrestleMania exceeded expectations, and there was
match of the night.
and there were no stipulations.
Yeah.
So now you're going to have, there's going to be no count out or no DQ, something. There's going to be a stipulation on this match. I would love if they go out into the crowd and we get a dive or something from Rollins off of a balcony, which we've seen before. Yeah. Something extreme. Something that would actually bode the name of the pay-per-view being Extreme Rules. And it's not just Brock Lesnar and John Cena going fisticuff, because that's the last time I remember Extreme Rules actually being Extreme Rules. Those two guys beat the crap out of each other. So I would actually like to see. You can't. Daniel Bryan using a forklift and jumping off of a pallet with a headbutt. Yeah, that's insane, and that's extreme. But it also sent him to the freaking hospital because it jarred his neck worse than it already was. And that was a bad match. A really bad match.
Even with the flaming table, it was pretty bad.
It was bad. It was really bad. That whole Kane angle was bad, period.
Yeah. Brie Bella's beautiful acting made Lana look like an Oscar winner.
Oh, it was so bad. And then, of course, Breeze with Nikki again. Just like nothing happened.
But Rollins and Orton are going to tear down the house. Like I said earlier, those two, I think they had the match of the night at WrestleMania just from in terms of straight wrestling, straight performance. That RKO is going to live in infamy. Like, holy crap, no one saw that coming. I think they're good. If they can exceed what they did at Levi's Stadium, I think we're in good hands. And by the way, I wrote a piece on WrestlingRumors.net predicting this entire card. Pat on the back to WWE for not going maybe the obvious route and having Roman Reigns challenge Seth Rollins. Orton just beat the champion at WrestleMania, so obviously, from straight logic, you put Orton in the main event against Rollins. But now what the hell happens with Roman Reigns? He's completely lost in the shuffle, right?
Well, you know what? This is something that we talked about in our chat. This is something that as soon as WrestleMania was over, all of us got into the chat room where we're talking with each other, and I fantasy booked the next year. And I said it should be Randy Orton next because, Roman Reigns is done. He's not a number one contender anymore.
Yeah.
That was his Rumble spot. He's not a number one contender anymore. He shouldn't get a shot at the title right now. Mm-hmm. It should be a guy who waited a year to get a rematch, to get another title shot. So I'm glad that they went with that. I booked Randy Orton at this one. I booked out to SummerSlam Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam for his rematch when he gets reinstated. To me, and I'm gonna say it here, I've said it on Wrestle Reaction. I'll say it every week until it happens. The most organic and obvious thing for Roman Reigns is to turn that son of a B heel, and have him go. I mean, there's so many different things that's going on during this face push that they've tried to use for him.
It's just been an epic failure.
That parallels Rocky Maivia to a freaking T. Rocky Maivia was this babyface that tried to bring in and force down everybody's throats as this clean-cut, smiley guy who didn't care whether you booed for him or cheered for him. It started getting to him. You could see it in the ring. They even brought his dad in to do a tag team match with him. Referencing the family. They started talking about the Maivias more. They started talking about Rocky Johnson. They brought Rocky Johnson in. What happens? Roman Reigns, same thing. They bring him out. They change his persona from the heel from the heel badass of the Shield to this cookie cutter comic book John Cena wannabe guy who's now wearing gray contacts to look cuter to the women. And all these different things where it comes down to they even brought in The Rock to try to start talking about the family of Roman Reigns to make you feel more sympathetic towards the guy. He's got a legacy to withhold. That doesn't work. Just like it didn't work with Rocky Johnson and Peter Maivia and the Anoa'i and all that stuff back then for Rocky Johnson. For Rocky Maivia. It didn't work. It didn't work when Rocky Johnson started. So you have this family, you have this parallel with these two guys, and what happened? Rock got hurt. When he came back, he was a heel. They said, we're gonna try, they're already booing you, we're gonna make it organic, we're gonna go ahead and let you be a heel. He came back, he joined the Nation of Domination, was a heel. He showed his charisma, he got super over. They kicked Farouk out, and now he's the leader of the Nation of Domination, and he goes with that for almost a year as one of the top, he was the top Intercontinental heel, and then he started getting so over that everybody loved him, and they made him heel again, and with Vince McMahon at Survivor Series, he gets the world title, and I mean, holy crap, this guy, Roman Reigns, could have the exact same career path as his cousin, The Rock, if they would allow the organic heel turn to actually happen.
Although he's not nearly as charismatic as his cousin.
But that can grow, man. I mean, honestly, Rocky had to grow. His charisma as Rocky Maivia was nowhere. It was forced. It was dumb. It had to grow over time. He had to be that heel character. And I think that, honestly, being a heel for Roman Reigns would allow him to open up, say what he wants to say about the fans, say what he's actually feeling inside about how the fans are booing him when he had an opportunity, and they changed. I mean, bring realism into it if it's the reality era, where we know that his family was at WrestleMania, because before WrestleMania he was supposed to get the daggum championship. They made the call on Wednesday, didn't tell the superstars until WrestleMania. So his family's in the crowd expecting to see Roman Reigns leave WrestleMania with the title, and the cash-in happens. So, that pisses him off. It's like there's already been statements from his father and the other Wild Samoan, and they're both, Afa and Sika are pissed off. The whole family's pissed off, and bring it into the storyline. Make it real. Make it organic. Let the heel turn happen. This guy could be a heel from now all the way up into the Royal Rumble, and then at some way, shape, or form, we get both Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns into a triple threat match at WrestleMania 32 in Dallas, a Shield triple threat for the WWE World Heavyweight title. I'm saying Seth Rollins should hold this title until WrestleMania 32.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, we're probably going to get Rollins versus Lesnar at SummerSlam, but what I was referring to with Roman Reigns, I don't think he's going to turn heel anytime soon, at least not until SummerSlam. I would rather see Reigns turn heel, maybe become an authority figure, join that group, and then Seth Rollins becomes a face. I think we're inevitably going to get a Seth Rollins face turn at some point this year, even if he's still the champion or not. I think he's a natural face. He started off in NXT as a face. He's exceeded every expectation possible with this heel run, but I think if Reigns turns heel, you have Rollins turns face. But at Extreme Rules, what I'm saying is, who does he feud with? Because he's not going to be turning heel tonight. He's not going to be turning heel in the next couple of weeks. Who do you book him against? Do you have him against Big Show, Kane? I mean, what do you have left here?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. That's what you have left. You have the authority still in play, and right now you're using the authority guys. You're using Big Show and Kane versus Ryback and Roman Reigns. And Ryback's way more over with the fans than Roman Reigns is as far as a babyface goes.
Yes.
We honestly, literally, if I'm booking this, like the way that WWE is going to book it, you're going to get a tag team match with Big Show and Kane versus Roman Reigns and Ryback. I think it's going to stem off of what we saw Monday night. If not, I don't know what else they do other than turn him heel and he faces Ryback.
Unless they go really outside the box and add him to the title match and make it a triple threat.
That's not going to happen. They have to bank on this Randy Orton Seth Rollins feud, and keep that.
I'm just saying it's not. They could do it. It wouldn't shock me to do it.
But it would make zero sense.
Yeah. But again, this is WWE. How often do they make sense?
Yeah, but that doesn't even fit in WWE logic.
Right.
Because he's no longer the number one contender. He has no say. He has no cash in.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the number one contender. He got pinned at WrestleMania.
But not by the guy he was
Brock Lesnar
scheduled to fight.
Hey, no, it became a triple threat match.
Okay.
He was pinned, and he lost his opportunity. Brock Lesnar's the one that didn't get beat, and Brock Lesnar's the one that lost the title. So Brock Lesnar has a rematch. Brock Lesnar has the rematch clause, just like Randy Orton did. So you have that, but you don't have Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has to work his way back up the title ranks. Period.
Are we doing the same thing last year where Brock Lesnar isn't seen until SummerSlam, or do we see him earlier?
I don't think we see him until right before SummerSlam when he gets reinstated some way, shape, or form for some reason. I don't know what that reason is going to be. And probably going to be Paul Heyman coming out and bitching and moaning.
He's already proved so many people wrong who said he couldn't work as a face. Like last week was proof in the pudding that people will eat this guy up as the number one face in the company, at least whenever he appears.
Yeah. Yep.
He's the most real thing in a fake sport. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, it's honestly, if I could mirror one situation with another, the way that WWE has booked Brock Lesnar now over the last 15 to 16 months is the same way that ECW booked Taz from 1996 until he left the company in 2000. When you try to make a Ultimate Fighter type character a prize fight character, someone that only fights for money, someone that is dominant and hard to take out and hard to take down, when you make a prize fighter in a fake sport and you make it look as absolutely real as possible, you get these kind of results. That was Taz for ECW, and it was the same feeling. It was the same thing. This guy's unstoppable. Of course, Taz was what 5'8".
Yeah, just a little cannonball of a beast.
6'0", but could suplex anybody, and he had a nasty submission that choked people out. So that was his deal. I mean, Brock Lesnar's just huge, so it works 10 times more better. Plus, Brock Lesnar has a legitimate claim to being the UFC heavyweight champion of the world. It makes him more dangerous. Like it's taking that process of making a prize fighter type character, using the realism and making it tenfold what it was with Taz, and it's perfect, and it's what a company needs. It's what a company like this, who obviously you looked at the ratings last week, you looked at the viewership last week. WWE needs Brock Lesnar, which is why they're paying him whatever they're paying him to keep him for another 3 years.
Wise investment.
So smart on their part. We're gonna
the glory of beating the guy who ended the Undertaker's streak is still out there. We have at this point we really have no idea who's going to be the one to pin Lesnar.
No, the guy hasn't been. No, that's the thing. The guy hasn't been beaten.
If they really wanted it to be Roman Reigns, it would have been Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Well, yeah, it was supposed to be Roman Reigns until the Wednesday before.
Yeah.
When Vince finally said, you know what, it can't happen.
Yeah.
It'll be a terrible, terrible scene if it's all booing, and
As good.
we're just dumping confetti on this guy, and everybody's booing the crap out of him. It's gonna be a terrible way to go off.
As good as WrestleMania was, that would have completely butchered it.
Oh, you would have had you would have had a fraction. You would have had maybe half of the viewership that you had Monday night.
No one would have cared.
Controversial cash-in, first cash-in ever at Mania. The guy leaves with the title. Sting was defeated and advertised for Monday. The Undertaker won and was advertised for Monday. Didn't show.
Cena
he was backstage, but they didn't use him.
Cena wins the U.S. title, so you
Cena
get.
won the U.S. title. Daniel Bryan, who is your fan favorite, wins a title. Sheamus returned, promoted.
You got the inevitable NXT debuts, which is now a post-WrestleMania thing.
Yep, biggest Raw in 3 years. Biggest Raw since Raw 1000.
But if Reigns wins the title, no.
That would not happen at all. No.
So they wised up.
Vince McMahon threw his ego to the ground and said, "Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I messed up again, and this is how we're gonna save it. It's not gonna be a save. It's not gonna be a saving like I did with Daniel Bryan, but it's gonna be a saving all together." And I mean, Seth Rollins as champion gives you so many different match options and allows you to book Brock Lesnar this way, where it keeps him safe and still huge, and he doesn't have to be there. It's a
and
very
now you get the title on the B and C list pay-per-views.
The title's on every show at this point.
Yeah.
So smart move, and it needed to happen. And we're just, you and I, we talked about it before. We're just glad that he cast his ego aside and actually allowed it to happen, because both you and I said it needs to be Seth Rollins leaving WrestleMania with the title.
And I said during the WrestleMania pre-show there is a 0% chance that Roman Reigns is leaving with the championship.
Yep.
And I was proven right. Even though I picked Lesnar.
That's right, because we weren't ballsy enough to do it. We weren't ballsy enough to pick it.
Yeah, I mean, great for like you said, I didn't think they had the guts to pull off a Money in the Bank cash-in in the main event of WrestleMania.
No. And for the first time ever, throw it in and make it a triple threat.
Yeah, innovative right there.
Yeah, so now that changes the Money in the Bank every year. Because now people know they can use it and make it a triple threat anytime they want. So, again, first time ever at WrestleMania, first time ever as a cash-in for a triple threat. I mean, the options were nuts. And
there's an interesting question out there for the viewers right now. Who's the favorite this year to win Money in the Bank?
In my opinion, I don't know who you would pick. In my opinion, it's Dean Ambrose.
Really?
I could honestly see Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble 2 years in a row.
No, are you kidding me? 2 Royal Rumble wins in a row for Roman Reigns. Like they didn't learn from last year how bad that went.
Then you do it the opposite way.
Well, how?
Then you do it the opposite. Yeah, but if it's a heel Reigns for a while that gets an organic face turn, maybe he could win the Royal Rumble 2 years in a row. Because if it's an organic heel turn and he's doing good enough for fans to get behind him there, then you could see a Roman Reigns Royal Rumble win 2 years in a row. If it's the opposite, then have Roman Reigns win the Money in the Bank briefcase and have Dean Ambrose win the Royal Rumble. I want a freaking Shield main event at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Well, again, we're assuming that that's what they were going to do, which would be perfect. Because you're obviously going to get all of these main events with these part-time guys anyway.
Right.
Why not establish what you have now and put them in the title match?
Your three of your biggest new stars.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I think you have one or the other win the Money in the Bank briefcase. That instantly can make them a part of WrestleMania if they want to be.
Yeah, I mean, Ambrose or Reigns is probably the favorite to win Money in the Bank if they're both in it. I can't really think of anybody else who would be credible enough where you think if they cash in, unless you gave it to, like, Bryan or Cena.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's been Wrestling Warm-Up right here, guys, on WrestlingRumors.net. We try to be here every Monday when we can be, when our other jobs don't hinder us being here.
We're busy, damn it.
I know. We really are. Don't forget that we do this before every single pay-per-view as well. So for Extreme Rules, we'll be right here at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, not 6:30. It's 6:30 on Monday, 6 p.m. before pay-per-views. Let it go an hour before the kickoff show goes for that. So we'll see you next Monday night, hopefully, right here. Always follow our Twitter at WrestleRumors. That way you can know what's going on if we're having the show or not. You can follow Chris Walter at Walter Sports, and you can follow along with him live tweeting Raw tonight on at WrestleRumors. So he'll be live tweeting during Raw.
Plenty of Neville love.
That's right. Neville love all over the place. Not to be confused with nipple love. So don't get the hashtag is not the same. So we'll be making sure that we keep in contact with you. We got new shirts in our new T-shirt store coming left and right. We've got of course the one that blew up last week, which is awesome. Thanks for buying that. If you did, we're getting some good feedback from that. I'm the mayor of Suplex City T-shirt that did really well. Again, we've got another one. We've got Rest in Peace, Michael Cole. And then we've got a lot more coming in the works that just haven't been put on the site yet. But there's at least 6 more that'll be up there in the next 2 weeks. So enjoy Raw, enjoy wrestling, and of course catch Russell Reaction immediately following Raw at 11. Actually, it'll be after the podcast tonight. So John Cena is going to be on Chris Jericho's podcast, which should be interesting. Jericho said he's not going to pull any punches. He's going to do the same thing that Stone Cold and Stone Cold did with Vince McMahon and Triple H and just shoot.
Yeah, we'll see.
So we'll see if he actually does that or not. Jericho's usually not one to lie though. He's usually pretty straightforward, especially in his podcast episodes. He breaks the fourth wall all the time. So hopefully we see that with John Cena tonight. He's real with him and doesn't try to cater to Vince McMahon so that he can keep his freaking podcast as the one they do the exclusive podcast with. I think that would be dumb. I'm hoping he pisses him off when we get Jim Ross in there the next go round. That'd be awesome. But Wrestle Reaction will go live after John Cena's podcast on the WWE Network with Chris Jericho, Frank Manzo, and those guys. You need to make sure you watch that. Enjoy Raw. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.